Always one of my favorite days trying out new shoes. We're on Camelback Mountain. I say we, this is me. Going up the Cholla Trail. There's my new Salomon Ultra Glide 4s. They turned out to be really amazing. This is the Cholla Trail. It goes up on the east side of Camelback. It's about 1,350 feet elevation and a little over 1.5 miles-ish or so. This is the first part up probably about 800 feet of elevation gain where you can see south into Phoenix. There's downtown Phoenix and South Mountain Park behind that, which is the largest city park in the United States. And then you're looking off to the north side here, and these are the McDowell Mountains. One of those in the middle there is Thompson Peak. There's a close-up of that one here coming up shortly. One I climbed last summer with the towers on the top. This is the first helicopter pad. I say the only helicopter pad on this side of the mountain. And this is looking back down the trail. Lots of folks out today. If you'll notice, most of them are in their 20s, I'm proud to say. And that's definitely true anytime I'm on the mountain. This is going up some of the steep, rockier stuff here. You can see the reflectors mark the path. Very steep in places here. This is just pretty much a wall that you kind of go up. Not a lot of exposure, not dangerous. I don't do dangerous stuff, but I do like to challenge myself physically. That's going up and over those rocks there. You can see somebody coming down on the other side. And this is near the top where you can see a lot of folks up there scrambling up. Yeah, this is just the worst place to have a heart attack right here. It's a pretty big drop on both sides, going down either side. Again, part of the steep trail there. And all of a sudden, here we are at the top. A lot of that steep stuff is not easy to film when you're going up there. I mentioned the helicopter pad a minute ago. They just put that there. They have one on the west side as well. There's a lot of rescues off this mountain. There's thousands of people that climb this thing every year. And I did climb this barefoot actually one time about 20 years ago. Never do that again, but I did do it just to say I could do it. There we're looking over to Santan Mountains. That's Thompson Peak actually in the McDowells. I did climb that. It's about a 2,600 foot elevation gain. But by the time you get to it, you've already done about 1,300 feet. So it was a really tough day. And then these are folks coming up the other side. There's a lot of boulders over here on the Echo Canyon side. This is the west side of Camelback. So I've already come up the east side and I'm going down the west side, and then I'll be going back up the west side and back down the east side to my car. Most people only go up it once at an outing. I'm doing it twice today. There's my new bright red shoes. They weren't nearly as bright red when I got done. There's a lot of dust on the trail, but they're really grippy. They have great cushion. I was out on the trail for about 3.5 hours on this day, and I found that my feet weren't nearly as sore and tired when I got done. So I think it was a massive success. My favorite trail shoes of all so far. Still going down here on the Echo Canyon side. This can get pretty steep too. It's basically like you're going through a boulder field for the vast majority of the upper section. I'm thinking at least half, if not 2/3 of going up the Echo Canyon side is boulders. You can see as we're getting further down there, that's where I'll be in a moment. A lot of hand railing, they put that up years ago, and it's very helpful actually because it's very, very steep. And there's a lot of novice climbers that try this, and many of them that have to get rescued, unfortunately. So that's the big head wall there on Camelback. It's a giant cliff face. It's basically, it'll show here in a minute, but it's right above you on the trail when you're going down or up, depending on which way you're going, obviously. So just going through some of the trail here before the really steep part where the handrails are. kind of a transitional portion of the trail that is in between the boulders and the handrails. So as you can see, it's really rocky, but all the desert is rocky. Some more people coming up. And there's the first of the handrails. Again, very, very steep. Good idea to hang on. You don't have to, but you can go faster if you hang on. Basically, you're meeting people on the way up as well. So you got to kind of take turns holding onto the rail as you pass each other. I've gone down the first portion. This is the second set of handrails. You can see that huge wall above us, hundreds of feet up there. And you got a big fence on the right side to keep you out of that area. And it's also a very steep drop off. There we can see the parking lot for the west side, the Echo Canyon side. Just got a little bit of ways to go to get there. This is part of that very last part of the trail. They do a lot of climbing on these rocks. I don't do rock climbing. I don't do anything completely straight vertical. Not my thing. I'm very scared of heights. So I don't do that. There are some folks that base jump off that as well with parachutes. I've seen them jump before. First time I saw a guy jumping, I thought he was committing suicide, and then he pulled his chute. Shoes still holding up well. I'm able to run on part of this, but it's pretty steep, so I really didn't run on this day. When I was younger, I could do it. I've seen my son fly down it running, but I don't want to fall. It's very, very painful to fall in these rocks, so I try to stay on my feet. This is my new Garmin watch. It's tracking. There's a compass on it. I'm just showing you a couple of things on there. It tells your elevation, speed, a lot of stuff, a lot more stuff than you'd ever even really need to know. I'm not sure what happened there or there. This is looking back up the mountain. That's the boulder field I was talking about. I'm going back up now on the other side, on the west side. That's all that boulder field, and you can see all those people scattered up through there. It's very strenuous. It's about 1.5 miles on this side as well. Depending on how far you go down into the parking lot, it can be about 1,500 feet elevation gain. So it's a total of about 3,000 after the day is done if you go over it twice. There was a guy with pickles at the top, and I paid him $5 for that when they were doing a fundraiser. That's one of the big golf courses at the Phoenician Resorts right at the base of Camelback, and you see part of the trail going down there, basically going straight down this ridge. This is where I came up, and I'll be headed back down. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting part of the trail. It gets pretty steep. You can see those people down there. I'm headed down where they're at. You basically just kind of feel your way along. I had climbed this 1.5 hours or so before this. Now I'm going back down to my car. Just looking for the good footholds. Sometimes you can slide a little bit. You don't want to slide too far on your butt because it can get a little painful if you misjudge some of those outcroppings. But I was able to get down that pretty simple. And I've done this dozens and dozens of times. So I'm pretty used to it.